Thank you for making it to another episode of The Money Exchange. If you're listening to this, and It's My Money with Patrina Dixon, if you're watching us on YouTube, I'm so excited to have my guest on, Christianna Hunt. What's up, Christianna?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super, super excited.
Yeah, so with me today, you all know me. I'm Patrina Dixon, the money coach. I teach you all things to have a great financial foundation of how to get your money right. So when you make all the money and you make all what get into what Christiana is going to talk about, you have that foundation where you can keep it all going. So when you want that and you want to learn how to budget and save and side hustles and entrepreneurship and getting your credit right, you want to drop down below and check one of those links. But today we're going to talk about e-commerce. And Christiana, tell us what you want to tell them about e-commerce from both angles, from the ones that's interested in selling and those that are interested in buying soon.
So my name is Christianna. I own Wealthy College Kid, the #1 e-commerce education platform, teaching people how to sell online, selling on eBay, selling on Amazon, or even selling on your own website in 2023. So many things have changed with selling online. So knowing what is the best thing to sell in 2023? Is it a solution-based product? Is it general? Is it niche? And the truth of the matter is, it really just depends on where you are financially. If you are a person with less than $500, you're a person that wants to sell general items. But if you're a person with a couple $1,000s to play with, you definitely want to dive into selling something that you're passionate about and turning it into a profit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love that you said the Wealthy College Kid is what it's called.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me about that name. How did you land on that name?
Honestly, I just looked in the mirror and kind of just came up with 3 words to describe myself that I wanted to be in college.
And you know what I love about that? Because I think sometimes people think the things that you just talked about are more suited for people once they graduate, once as a side hustle or something, as opposed to when I'm in college, I can actually be a wealthy college kid, right? Through e-commerce. So I love that. So what year within your college journey did you embark on this?
I think year 3, 4, 3,
Okay.
3.5, 4. I moved out at 21, so that's when I kind of got slingshotted into entrepreneurship because I had to figure out how I was going to pay my rent. But I always tell people it's an enroll and earn system. It's not for people going to college. It's not for people that just got out. It's for people that want to enroll in learning a skill set that's going to help them earn money.
Yeah, I love it. And that, you and I both know that could be at any age, but yeah, if you learn it in college as well, that's awesome. So now e-commerce. So I know what that means. You know what that means. So tell them a little bit on what is e-commerce and why is that attractive, especially nowadays?
So e-commerce is the process of selling or buying online. That's anybody that's made any type of purchase using the internet. And why it's so important is in 2023, majority of our purchases are made from our phone, from our computer, from our iPad, from social media. And a lot of people are purchasing instead of on the internet, instead of going out and going into the store and seeing it and feeling it. So e-commerce is obviously on an up and up. The product may change, the platform may change, but people are buying online in 2023.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's so funny because I joke with folks, due to the pandemic, I began buying groceries, having groceries delivered to my home, right? And then after, like, the world is open back up. I don't know if we're still in the pandemic or not, but I still retain doing that. Like, I still have my groceries delivered. So people think that, sometimes people are doing more of this mass purchasing online due to things like I just described. But no, it's the new way, right? Would you say that?
No, it definitely is the new wave, and it's what people feel most comfortable with, most importantly. So you want to take that into consideration that yes, you could save money if you go out and get something here or there, but people are paying for convenience. People are buying back their time, and people are really taking care of themselves first, more so than back 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we talked about and established what e-commerce is and the fact that it's, what people are doing, and it doesn't look like it's going to go the opposite direction. So you talked about people can buy things online and people can sell things online, right? So talk a little bit first about how people find all of these wonderful resources online. Like, is it a direction that you would point people in to
100%.
be able to do either?
100%. If you're a person looking to make an extra 4 or 5 figures, selling online can be a great outlet, whether you're making your own products, selling other people's products, or reselling products. or creating your own, you're able to kind of get your foot in the door by just picking a platform that is right for you. If you're somebody with a little bit more money, you may want to sell on Amazon, which charges $39.99 a month. But eBay, you can make a free account. Facebook Marketplace, you can make a free account and you can start selling immediately just to get your feet wet. So you
Yes.
kind of have to take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, do I want to put my whole foot in the door, or do I just want to get my feet wet and start testing things, start posting items. You're not losing any money by posting anything.
Yeah. And so talk a little bit about that. So you named some platforms, which is amazing. So thank you for sharing that with those that are listening. So those are ones they can test out. What do you think contributes to the success of somebody selling it online? Like I've been told, because I'm considering Poshmark. Yeah, that one. I'm considering that one. And they're like, make sure you have really good pictures. That one is more for designer stuff. Can you talk a little bit about the success on the various platforms, or does it vary by platform?
It definitely varies by platform, and each platform has its pros and cons for different types of products.
Okay.
Facebook Marketplace is a great place to sell furniture, where Amazon, not so much. And Poshmark is a great place to sell old designer clothes, old designer bags, but eBay is not. eBay is, again, like a place that you can sell everyday items like air fryers, toasters, couches, rugs. Each platform has what people are looking for when it comes to finding or sourcing that deal that they may be in search of.
Okay. And then from a sourcing standpoint, so do you have to have an item to be a sourcer, or how does one acquire things to resell or source out?
Absolutely not. If you're just starting, of course, you can sell things that you don't own. That's where you get into drop shipping and, retail arbitration, just to get your feet wet and make sure that it will in fact sell. I always tell people there's no harm in refunding somebody once it sells if you're not able to source it afterward. But now you're able to see for yourself that this is an item that will sell, in fact. So when you go to buy it or you go to source inventory, you know how much to buy.
Okay. And then talk a little bit about pricing. So is it just like any other thing? You do some research to determine what price point is.
I always tell people a minimum of a $10 profit. That's just my baseline. Minimum of $10 profit on everything. I always do 10 to 25% to be safe. And that's a good margin to have when selling online.
Okay. So now as far as inventory is concerned, because some people are always concerned about inventory, but the way you're describing it, does the person actually have the inventory, or is it
not when they're just starting out? No, when you're just starting out, it's perfectly, unless you're creating your own products. But when you're just starting out, no, it's perfectly okay to drop ship 1 or 2 items. But once you do see success in that item, it is time to buy inventory.
It is. And any thoughts on how somebody can manage that? Like, is it based, what would you give somebody starting out once they find their product is selling, how they go about the inventory acquisition process?
So obviously you can use a fulfillment center, you can use a warehouse, you can use Amazon's warehouse, but once you at least have 5 sales, you should be able to kind of see, okay, this is on the up and up. And then at that point, you would want to source that product either to your home, a warehouse, or to Amazon's warehouse, or even a fulfillment center. So there's a couple different options depending on how much you're buying, and you gauge that just by the amount.
Okay. And then how much time do you think? So, you started this being a college student, not only college students may be interested. If you were to define a time that you can make some adequate extra money, what would that be in a week or a day? Like how much a day or how much a week?
Like an hour to 2 hours a day of just posting and listing products is always a great place to start.
Okay. And then I know I get this question a lot is, do you have to have, I know you have a large following across your platform. Does one need to have that in order to be successful in e-commerce type business?
No, you don't. I didn't even have any followers when I got started.
Okay. And what made you? So you said you wanted to earn money while you were in college, but there's a lot of ways. Like, why this? Why?
I needed $3,000 to pay my rent, so there wasn't going to be a job that was going to be able to give me that in 30 days. So, it was just like this or nothing.
Oh, really? That's it. And it worked. You chose
yeah,
one thing,
it
and that
definitely
worked.
did. I barely did, but it did. The good outweighs the bad. But I would never wish that type of stress or anxiety on anybody.
Interesting. So, because I know a lot of people try different things, for you to have tried one and it worked as successfully as this one, that's amazing. So now, I always say this to those that come on, we talk about the great things in any given thing. Yours today is e-commerce. So, but what are the cons? What are the cons to the whole thing?
Cons are definitely customers, customers with today's age want, if they place an order at 2 p.m., they want it by 2:30. It's just entitlement, but I mean, you can always hire people. You can learn to how to hire customer service. You can learn to hire somebody for emails. So there's always, the pros that outweigh the cons, but you definitely just want to make sure that you're selling a tangible product and people are getting it and you have proof of that.
Yeah. And so now let's go there. So proof. So, cause what I always say, at least in my business, is when I service my clients well, I provide value, service them well, provide great customer service, they become the referral for my next client. Do you find the same in the e-commerce? Like I know it could be tricky because one bad, I call it review, that can, flip the thing upside down. But do you sort of solicit, by way of a portal, Google, or whatever, testimonials from clients, prior
100%,
clients?
100%. We definitely pride ourselves on as many positive reviews as we can. Obviously, we can't make everybody happy, but we do try to shine a light on the people that, are return customers, the people that write reviews, the people that make videos. We always try to hold them to the highest ability that we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's definitely, I think, to your point, you cannot dictate when somebody's going to receive something when when you are relying on the next person, meaning the postal service, to get it there.
Exactly.
What if you were to give somebody a gauge on sharing with their customers on their website or whatever, the timetable for which they would get something after payment, what would you say that would be?
I always do those standard 5 to 7 business days. And if they get it in 2 to 3, even better. But I try to over deliver and under promise with everything that I do. It just saves you a lot of headache and a lot of, pushback of people wondering.
Yeah. And you know what I'm seeing, and I don't know if this is a phase, so you can tell me because it's it's in your space, but I see a lot of people doing free shipping. So when people do that, do they up the price to kind of take care of that? Like, what are you seeing in that space? Is it
No,
that it sounds attractive when they do that?
100%. Everybody is just including that shipping price in their actual price.
And do you encourage that? Because people are used to paying shipping by now, right? Or do you think they should do it?
Are. You just have to give them the option though. Like a lot of times I offer free shipping, but I'll offer paid shipping with 2 to 3.
Okay. Okay, got it. So that's really the way. So now people that are listening that had never considered this before, and now I'm talking about the one that is the college student that's trying to have rent paid, trying to buy that car, whatever. What would you tell them how to get started on something like this? Not getting to like all the tactical things, but the encouragement to start something like this if they've never done anything like this before.
Show up to a free class, show up to what's available to you. There's YouTube. I go live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Like there's plenty of opportunities for everybody to get these types of things. They just have to put themselves in the mix. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. And that's so my community, It's My Money is my brand, and my community is It's My Money Squad. I tell them this has to be the year of execution. And you know this, you can go to conference, you can listen to a live, you can watch a YouTube, but if you don't execute on anything, you can't have a return on anything. You can't even fail at anything if you don't execute on anything, right? So execution is big. Do you find, like, I find a lot of people go through a course, go through a class, but yet they don't execute on anything, but they can check the box that they purchased the class, they made the time to listen to the Instagram. What do you think is the barrier that you're seeing from your community?
I definitely think it's just lack of implementation. People just lack the accountability to take action and take the time to actually do these things.
Yeah.
It just comes down to the user. Like you have to want more for yourself. You have to start trying. You have to, like, that's really just what it comes down to. Like, what are you doing to take action?
Absolutely, because we all have the same 24 hours in a day, right? And it's if you do want more, and I venture to say, if they're following you, following me, that they have at least taken a step, but now they have to go forth with that next step if they want to see returns. So it's not, so you all listening, like the information is out here. This is like, I was watching something, I forgot where I was watching yesterday, and it said, we're on information. I know it was the Samore, the comedian Samore. I was watching her recent stand-up, and she said, information is everywhere nowadays. So to say that you don't know how, like you can Google anything you want, doesn't mean everything that comes.
Action. You
You
know, it's crazy.
have to take action.
I found myself doing the same thing. I have a drone. I've had a drone for probably over a year, and I never took the time to learn. And then I just last night was like, you know what? Let me take action. Watched a few videos, went getting up every day and practicing, and now I know how to use it. Something that I could have avoided a year ago.
Yeah, amazing. And that's what I love when I have folks like you come on the show. It's like your success is predominantly on you took action on whatever it was, you took the action. And then what I love most about a guest like you, now you're sharing with others how to do it. So I love that. So talk some about what you have available for those that may be interested in taking action.
So I have a free class every single Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, where I teach people how to sell on eBay, and I give them the products of the month to sell so that they're able to go out that night, list those products, and kind of wake up the next day, next week with sales, getting your feet wet.
I love it. I love it. And now we have to do a little primer on what you have coming up in June. Go ahead, drop it. Let them know.
In June, I have my software launching called Celsi that allows people to source and find the cheapest product, the cheapest grocery, whether it's the best reviewed or the best shipping or the fastest shipping. You're able to source now anything of any walk of life at any grocery store, any, Target, Walmart, and find out where can you get the best deal for your buck. And it will source the coupons for those items. So you're kind of able to kind of carry yourself through this recession and really manage your money better because you're finding where the product you're looking for is the cheapest.
I love it. And you know why this is so important to me? And I think about this as it pertains to the healthcare industry, where like for different prescriptions, you kind of find the best one, that you're doing that for what people need every single day. Like, I love that, because some people, you all listen, and I haven't had an opportunity to see the software, but when I think about what the concept of what she's doing is, sometimes you may be frequenting a certain grocery store. And then once you have the software, you may realize that grocery store that's 5 minutes away from your home is where you used to go, but the one that's 8 minutes away from your home may have the best prices for what you normally buy. So I'm ecstatic about this. I would love to have you back on to talk more in depth about that, because in what I do and what this software is offering, I really see the marriage in it, because people are going like everything is getting a little bit scary again for people with their money and trying to figure out the best place to store their money and now spend their money, right? That's been a concern for some time, but when you can serve up to people where they can get the best prices for things that they have to buy because we have to eat, I think that's a beautiful thing. So I know food is going to be in there. Is there any other products in there? Is it all kinds?
Food, any everyday products, air fryers, toasters, mattresses, headphones. You'll be able to source all of those and find them for the best deal.
I love it. I love it so much. So tell them again, what's the name? Tell them when it's dropping. What's the name
Celsi in June 2023. It's CELLYCE. You guys can find it on my social media for sure. Christianna Hunt online. And yeah, that's really it.
I love it. And the link to your course, I'm going to put down below in the show notes, and then your social media page, so they can go and find that and stay tuned for that in June. So if you, again, I want you to leave some words of inspiration. People are looking for ways to make extra money, because there's a lot of people that I work with. A lot going on. They need to feel more empowered about making money on their own, so nobody can let them go, fire them, etc. And they have money coming in, or supplement because they have a kid going off to school, they have retirement coming up, whatever. What do you say to those people when you have something that's right there available that anybody at any age can do? What are those words?
I always tell people it's free. So there's no excuses. Like, there's no lack of information. There's no lack of money. There's no lack of wherewithal. As long as you have above a 3rd grade reading level, you are in a great position.
Yeah. And I want to say, I appreciate you for making the information available. And I love that you know, you not only learned something that worked for you, and you already described why you did it, but now want to share it with others. Because some people learn stuff and they learn it and keep on going, right? But
Yeah,
want
no,
to share with others. It's amazing. So thank you so much for being on. And again, this I wanted to say one other thing. You told me this, I don't know if you said it here, but they will be able to find that by geography. So there's an entry, an
yes,
input for a zip code.
yes, you'll be able to find it anywhere in the country.
Okay, great. And okay, I'm just looking here at my other one last note. Did I see if I had a last note? Okay, so anywhere in the country, they'll be able to find that. And so as far, you talked about why you did what you did from an eBay e-commerce standpoint. What made you go into the Celsi, the software part of it?
Fintech is a evergreen business. Fintech is blowing up, and software companies are blowing up. And I thought it was a great way for me to kind of give my exit, honestly.
So did you work with other people to create the software? Like you told them what you wanted it to do?
Yeah, I
And
have a
then
partner.
okay. Okay, great, great, great. All right. Well, Christianna, thank you so much for being
So
on
much
the
for
Money
having me.
Exchange. Yes, I appreciate you being on. Those that are listening, please drop down below. Check Christianna out on her webpage. Make sure you save whatever she has going on so you know when Celsius drop, because I know the following that you all that follow me want more information on how you can save and earn, and she has information on both. So make sure that you check her out. Again, the links will be down in the show notes. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give it a thumbs up or subscribe if you haven't, and make sure you follow both of our pages. Thank you so much for being here. Make it a great day.
Thank you.